We are going to solve the problem 2,844 divided by 18. The first thing we are going to do is set up a table adjacent to the problem that lists our 18 times either ones, tens, or hundreds. We're going to use hundreds because we're working with a problem in the thousands. So the first thing I'm going to do is say 18 times 100 equals 1800. Then I'm going to say 18 times 200 is equal to 3,600. Then I'm going to do my 300s, 18 times 300, and I'm just going to add 3,600 plus 1,800, and I get 0, 0, 4, 5 equals 5,400. 18 times 400, I'm going to add another 1,800, 12, 7,200. And I'm going to just keep going because even though we probably do not need to go this far for the hundreds, we might for the tens and the ones. So I'm going to add another 1,800. And I know that 18 times 500 is 9,000. We go 18 times 600. Add it together. I'm going to get 10,800. Now I'm going to stop here knowing that I may need to come back and keep going later. So my first step is to determine which number by hundreds is closest to 2,844 without going over. And I noticed that 1,800 is below 2,844, but 3,600 is just too high. So I'm going to put a 100 here, and that is my partial quotient, and I'm going to put the 1,800 here, making sure that I line it up properly so that I can now subtract. 0 from 4 is 4. 0 from 4, or 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. Now, I am not done because I do not have a 0 here. I still have more numbers to work through. So again, now I'm going to go to my tens. All I have to do to go to my tens is cross off the zeros here and the zeros here. Cross off that one. So now I know that 18 times 10 is 180. 18 times 20 is 360. I still need to figure out which is close without going over. If I look at 18 times 50, I know I have 900. If I look at 18 times 60, I know I have 1,080. 1,080 is bigger than 1,044, so I have to go with 50. I'm going to put 50 as my partial quotient. And I'm going to put 900 lined up properly so I can subtract here. 4 minus 0 is 4. 4 minus 0 is 4. I cannot subtract 9 from 0, so I'm going to regroup. I'm going to make this 0 and make this 10, and I'm going to say 10 minus 9 is 1. So I have 144. I'm still not done because I have more information, more numbers. I didn't get to 0. So I'm going to come through and subtract another 0. See how I'm only having to do the math once because I just need to subtract zeros. So I know that 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. And if I look, I get to 108 and I realize I need to keep going. So I'm going to say 18 times 7, and I'm going to say 18 times 7. I could keep adding, but since I was doing zeros before, that's probably going to confuse me. I was doing hundreds before. So 18 times 7 is 56. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 5 is 13. I can add another 18 to this answer, because 136 is still not big enough. Or I can say 18 times 8 is 8 times 8 is 64. Put the 6 up here to regroup. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 144. Boy, that matches. So I know I'm going to use the 8. So I'm going to put the 8 up here, the 144 here that I got from multiplying it by 8. And if I had kept going, I would have seen the larger number times 100. I'm going to subtract and get 0. So now I have 3 partial quotients that I have to add together to get my answer. 100 plus 50 plus 8 is 158. So my answer is 158. Now, what if I'm not sure if that's my answer? Well, I could check my answer by multiplying 158 times 18. 8 times 8 is 64. I'm going to put my 6 here because I'm regrouping, and in my tens space I'm going to put the 4. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 6 is 46. So I'm going to put the tens place here, it was 46, my 4 up here for regrouping. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 4 is 12. And I put a 0 here, and I do it again. 8 times 1 is 8, 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1. Notice I'm being very careful to line my numbers up so that when I add, I'm adding straight down and I'm not getting confused. 4, 14, put my 1 up here, my 4 here, 8, and 2. 28, 44, 28, 44. Put my comma there. So we've solved our we've solved a division problem.